Welcome to what is proving to be a very, very bright and blue day in Munich. It is absolutely wonderful. We are starting our trip going through the old town, looking at some of the main sites here, before of course we spend 2 days at a conference. I will be showing you around the city, as well as letting you know how the conference goes at LMU, one of the main universities in this city. They have a museum in the bottom of this church, which is quite cool. The monasteries, some vestments, and a thurible. It's really surprising how many Catholic churches there are in the city. There's at least 4 churches that I can see. It's kind of indicative that the Protestant Reformation didn't really spread this far into Munich. So what we're going to do is we're going to explore some of these churches as well alongside these sites. I quite like going to churches because it tells you a lot about how the faith and spirituality is of a city. St. Michael is such a cool Jesuit church in Bavaria, and actually is the place where the beatified Rupert Mayer preached during World War II against the Nazis, which is such a important and courageous thing to do. So that was really cool. Here in front of us we have the Munich Cathedral, which is famously known for its devil's footprint. This footprint has a few different myths suggesting why it might be the case. A lot of them due to the fact that this church is apparently windowless if you stand from the back. Though of course you can see some windows at the back now which have since been revealed. This is indeed one very large hall of a church. I think it's one of the second largest of its kind. You don't really have that much ornate things on the ceiling, but indeed you have a crucifix right here. We are now inside the new town hall, the Novo Rathaus, I think is what they call it. It is quite cool. You have this quite nice architecture. You can walk around inside these stairwells all the way up, which is really nice. I didn't even spot that tall tower up there actually at the start. Outside the new town hall you have Marienplatz, the main city square of Munich. You have all the cool stuff here, which is quite nice. It's the center and everything is surrounding it. Here we have St. Peter's, which is indeed the oldest church in Munich. People say this is where kind of it all began, which is really, really cool. Of course, all the paintings are covered up for Lent, but this is actually quite unique. I very much like this. The paintings on the ceilings are just absolutely splendid. Here we have the old town hall, which has now become a toy museum. We are now working towards the Kutalian Market, which is indeed a street market where we're going to try to get some food to eat. There's a lot of these sausage shops and places where you can get some meat. We've acquired local wheat beer and veal sausages in this very beautiful, nice spot in the market. What an absolutely beautiful outdoor lunch with the veal sausage. It was very nice, and I know why they normally have it for breakfast, because it is a very light sausage. It was very nice with the sweet mustard and the pretzels. After lunch we are now heading to the Munich residence. I've noticed that they quite like their arches in the city. One thing which really surprised me is how small the old town actually is, because I only walked about 4 minutes from the bottom of the market, 4 or 5 minutes, and I'm already at the top of it. That's crazy. Absolutely splendid on this really beautiful day. It's such nice to be out in the sun, especially after being in the UK for all this time. There is a very nice courtyard, and apparently inside the Residence Museum is indeed some art and culture from the Bavarian courts, which I'm very looking forward to see. This reliquary is quite cool. It was made for Dionysius the Areopagite and St. John the Baptist. Here are some cool relic tables which were then meant to indicate things that the priest would say during Mass. Here is what is said during the Lord's Prayer. What an impressive room. We are now going to the House of Art, which I think is just a display of modern art, unfortunately. It is indeed very modern art-like. This is quite cool. The sun is setting in Munich. What a beautiful sight. You can see the old cathedral over there. We are currently in the English Garden. This is rather beautiful indeed. Wow. The sight from this monument is just absolutely stunning. For dinner I am going to the Hofbrauhaus, one of the most famous taverns in Munich, and this is where I suppose Adolf Hitler gave all his famous beer hall speeches in the past. Not that that's something that should be emulated, but it is indeed an important part of history. You really get a different vibe when you are indeed looking at the Marienplatz at night. Second day in Munich, what a beautiful, lovely day. We're now walking to LMU for the conference, right past the State Library, and as well going up to the campus. It's a beautiful street, really wonderful sights. Looking forward to seeing how it goes. Last day in Munich, we are going to look around some museums, some sites, and if we have time we'll go to the BMW museum, but you know, I'm not much into cars, so only if we have time we're going to head to do that. We are currently in the Alta Pinathek, where we are going to be looking at one of the largest art collections in Europe.